Put me in the lab, watch me cook up like a chef. Don't tell me I can't ball, cause boy you ain't no ref. Making plate after plate after plate on our Steph.
Good afternoon. It's Dale again, coming to you from the banks of the Alabama River in Montgomery, Alabama. It's beautiful out here. It is beautiful out here. I wish you were here with me. So, got another message for you. And this one is entitled, I'll Meet 'em in Them Streets. I'll meet 'em in them streets. So, I got a story for you. So, about 25 years ago, I was volunteering for a nonprofit organization. And this nonprofit specialized in doing after-school tutorials. They were doing interventions at elementary schools, middle schools. And one of the things that they did also during the summer, they had a program called Rites of Passage. And Rites of Passage was this manhood training program that took young men and basically provided them with the necessary life skills so they could move from being a young man into manhood. So one of my fellow mentors invited his brother to come out to one of our meetings that we had with the young men. Now, this brother that was invited out was a little rough around the edges. Some people would call him hood. Yep, they would call him hood. But he was a nice fella. He was just a little bit different. So we had went through our session, which usually lasted about anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours on most Saturday mornings. So we had adjourned, but some of the young men were still there because they were waiting on their parents to pick them up. And so over to the side, I noticed that the brother of this mentor friend of mine was over there with about a half a dozen kids. And he was like a magnet to these kids. He was actually showing them how to beatbox. That's one of those little terminologies, one of those things that young people used to do back in the day. And it was very popular, when rap first started getting a hold in our society. And so he was actually teaching these young boys, young men, how to beatbox. They were keyed in on everything he had to say and do. This fella that most folks would call hood. So that time came and went, but I never forgot that. I never forgot it because of the fact that in its essence, he was so relatable to these young men. Very relatable. And I said, that's how we got to be out there in them streets. We've got to meet people where they are. Sometimes when we go out into the world, we feel that people should conform to the way that we are. No, I believe that we should conform to the way they are in certain regards in order to be able to communicate and relate to them. I can remember, and I'm going to analogize when I'm saying this, how it was said in the Bible that when Jesus basically went out into them streets, he was relatable to God's people. The ones that believed, the ones that did not believe. He was relatable. There's a lot to be said for that. So I had this thought. When I'm out in the world, I'm not trying to take me and make people relate to me as much as I am wanting to relate to them. Because if I can relate to them, I have an opportunity to share the story of how God has been good to me and how he will be good to them. Meet them in them streets. Meet them in them streets. Takes a little work, but it's well worth it. That young man that a lot of us assume to be hood, he knew how to relate to those young men, and they keyed in on him. So, my final word in the midst of this is that meet people where they are. Meet people where they are. I'm not telling you to go out there into them streets and assume and become a sinner like somebody else is. But maybe you need to alter your conversation that you're having with people so they can understand where you're coming from. Sometimes we don't have to communicate in our educated way. We don't have to flash and flaunt the fact that we are a frat or soror. We don't even have to flaunt or basically put out there, oh, I'm a Baptist. Oh, I'm a Methodist. I'm a Lutheran. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm an Adventist. No. Let's do this. Let's make sure that we can relate to people so they can develop a trust in us, and then they'll be willing to listen to us out there in them streets. I said to myself several years ago, I want to be a friend to humanity. That's right. I said I want to be a friend to humanity. Doesn't matter where I go, doesn't matter who I'm talking to, I'm going to be a friend to humanity. Now, I believe I got it honest. My dad had the gift of gab. My mom had the gift of gab. Many of my uncles and aunts had the gift of gab. So let me break that down. Not only did they love to talk, they also loved engaging with people. They just loved it. I want to be a friend to humanity. I don't want to meet any strangers. In the midst of me being a friend to humanity, I'm showing them every time how good God is. Because you know what? If he's been good to you, they'll be able to see it in you. You've been blessed by God, they'll be able to see that you've been blessed by God. You don't have to say a word. It'll be written all over you. And that's what we want. So, I've taken too long. This is Dale again. It's been my plum pleasing pleasure, in the words of Les Brown. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so kindly for liking, sharing, and subscribing to these videos. What we're doing here is sorely needed. Encouragement, hope, faith, love. It's not dead. It's not dead. Don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it. God is alive and well. He will make things happen in your life. So with that being said, Enjoy your afternoon. Enjoy your evening. Whatever time of the day that you're viewing this video, much love to you. Until the next time, it's Dale again. Peace.
Just look at me and see this greatness on the ground like at a crime scene. It's evidence. Watch the Holy Spirit shake up your residence. Get some reverence. All these blessings round and round. Ain't no way that they ain't heaven sent. They ain't believe in us, but God did. Pushing the top.